Halacha says, "Perot yeveshim kegon tzemukim shezifim berogrot mishmeshim v'keyoseh bazeh apen Ashkenazim nohagim b'hem isur." Brings down dried fruits, all kinds of dried fruits. Ashkenazim are mahmir not to eat them on Pesach, and the reasons are because the way they used to dry them, many times they would dry them next to their stove, next to other foods where there could have been hametz around, and therefore they hold that we don't eat that on Pesach. However, our custom, Eidut HaMizrach, is להקל בהם ולאכלם בתוך הפסח. You are allowed to eat them. However, אך יש להיזהר מתערובת קמח ותאנים מיובשים. You should be careful to make sure there is no other ingredients inside other than the dried fruit. Because many times he brings down that they would mix inside the mixture, how to dry them, to put in flour, because that gives them a very quick dry, and therefore they would sprinkle it with flour on the top, and that would make it hametz. And therefore, you have to make sure that there's no hametz inside those dried fruits. Obviously, the only way to know such a thing is only if it has a hashgacha, only if it has a proper certification to make sure that somebody went down, they checked the plant, how it's made, and there's no hametz being put into these dried fruits. Also, he brings down a lot of the nuts, all kinds of nuts. People are noheg during Pesach, they don't buy anything that's already salted. The reason is because if it's salted, there's a possibility that they put hametz inside the water in order to stick on the salt. And therefore, people don't buy salted stuff. Again, today already, Baruch Hashem, we have hashgachot. There is proper hashgacha, and therefore a person that wants to buy them, as long as you're buying it with hashgacha, there's no problem. But if you're buying it without hashgacha and just relying on what could there be in there anyways, it's almonds, it's pistachios, big deal. What can that? It's kosher. And the answer is many times they do put into the mixture hametz. Sometimes they make it on the same run as hametz, and therefore a person has to be careful to make sure to buy these things. If he's buying them ready-made, he has to make sure to buy them all with proper hashgachot. Just one thing that came up recently, the yabra leaves. Yabra leaves lost its hashgacha from the major OU. And therefore, being that they lost their hashgacha, they don't have any more hashgacha on the yabra leaves. The companies that have been good till now, they don't have a proper hashgacha. They have another hashgacha that's on it, but that hashgacha is not considered a reliable hashgacha. And therefore, for this year, Pesach, it doesn't look like there's going to be any reliable hashgacha that's OUP, that's going to be kosher for Passover, to be able to be used on Pesach. So therefore, you're going to have to use other things. There's no yabra leaves, you're going to have to do other things. There's, again, if it comes up that they have some kind of certification that could go down and actually check the plant and make sure that everything is done properly, good, but it does, as of right now, it doesn't seem that they're going to have it, and therefore, for your wives, you tell them there is hashgacha for all year round. They have certain ones that are good kosher for all year round. However, for these 7 days, 8 days of Pesach, we're not going to be able to have yabra leaves that are kosher for Passover, and therefore, you can't just buy it without a hashgacha.